All right, when we experience stress, we have a couple of conflicts that we'll go through, not conflicts with other people, but within our own self. And so the first one that we're looking at is going to be the approach. This is our win-win situation. You get to go on vacation. You get to take your best friends with you, and you're just going to choose between two different places. Well, that's a win-win, right? It doesn't matter where you're going. You get to take your friends and you get to go on vacation. Even if you just go to Six Flags or SeaWorld, you still get to go on vacation, and so that's okay. You may get to go to Greece or somewhere really fun, but even just a local trip would be exciting. Avoidance is your lose-lose situation. This one is really difficult and really the most stressful. So this is that, let's say that you're terrified of the dentist, but you're also terrified that your teeth will rot out of your mouth and you have a toothache. What are you going to do? Are you going to go to the dentist? Or are you going to let your tooth rot? It's going to cause stress either way. So you're going to have to make a decision, and it's going to cause a lot of stress either decision. Approach avoidance is going to be where as we move toward one goal, we move away from another goal. So maybe our goal is to cut out sugar. We want to eat healthy. We're trying to lose weight, maybe work on this competition, something. And our other goal is that grandma makes the best cherry pie ever, and I'm going to eat grandma's cherry pie any chance I get. So we come to the family function, all of a sudden grandma brings her cherry pie, and now what am I going to do? Am I going to eat the cherry pie because I love her cherry pie, and I want her cherry pie, and I should eat it every time I get the chance to, or am I not going to because I'm working on a different goal? Okay, it's going to cause stress either way, but one is going to get us to the goal that we probably prefer to be at, or the other one is going to move us away from that goal we're working on. But those are the choices we make. And then the fourth one is going to be multiple approach conflict. And so that means that we're going to have multiple options, okay? And so there can be positive and negative with this, and we have to choose. So let's say it's Thursday night, the movie's come out, we've been waiting for this movie forever, but you have a test on Friday. And your friends are all going to go Thursday night. And you're like, but look, I have to study for this test. Can we go tomorrow night? They're not going to go. So you have several options. You can study all week long and then go to the movie and then go to the earliest one, then come back, study, go to bed, take your test. You can not study and go watch the movie. You can choose to go to the movie on Friday. So you're just going to study or prepare for your test. You're going to go to the movie on Friday, still see it, everything will work out. You have lots of options on it, okay? And so there will be stress with it. There's positive and negative things, but there will be less stress, or not less stress, but there's different types of stress based on the different decisions that you make. All right, so Holmes and Ray, back in the 1960s, they wanted to put together like the social readjustment rating scale, and they decided that they would take about 43 of the most stressful things that you have in life and rate them. And they asked a bunch of people to go through and to check to see, to take this test, and it helped to rate their stress level, and then it helped to determine your likelihood of becoming ill. And so there's tons of different questions on here, and this is part of your homework assignment where you're going to go through and you're going to rank it. You're going to look for 1 year only. So you're going to look at today and then look a year back and see what you've experienced, okay? And so some of them you may not have experienced. Maybe you haven't experienced the death of a spouse. Maybe you haven't experienced divorce or prison or anything, but maybe you have experienced loss. And maybe you have experienced, vacation, moving, starting school, stopping school, something. So you're going to go through there and you're going to answer these questions. And then it's going to give you a list at the bottom that's going to tell you how likely you are to become ill. Now, this isn't like your horoscope or anything like that. It's just saying if you don't change your ways, if you don't find ways to de-stress, you're going to make yourself sick. And so you have to find some healthy ways. Okay. And so you can have a very high number and not become ill. My husband, he came back right before we got married. He came back from war. He moved into a place. Then we got married. We bought a house. We went on our honeymoon. He went back to work. He went back to school. That was really all within 6 months, and changed our living situation. Then we moved into our house, and he didn't get ill. Okay. So you may not get ill, but it is important for you to analyze this to find out what's causing some stress, how we can combat it, and how we can stay healthy. Daily hassles is the first half of your homework assignment, and these are going to be these minor irritations or annoyances that you have that are everyday life. Okay, these can lead to negativity and a distressed mood. It can build up and leave you feeling stressed. It says frequency of daily hassles is a better predictor of physical and psychological health than life change units. Okay, because these are everyday, and so we have to learn to delegate. We have to learn to manage our time better so that we don't cause more stress. In the mornings, I always get upset because there's a slow driver driving in front of me before I can get to the bus to drop my child off. Well, is it the slow driver's fault that I'm stressed out? No. Is there a slow driver every day? Yes. Should I just get up earlier and get us out the door faster? Absolutely. But I don't, and that causes more stress. But if I could do a simple thing as change some things and leave 5 minutes earlier, then I'm less stressed and I'm less grumpy for my kid. All right, so we have these daily hassles. These occur regularly, and they do threaten our well-being. Housework. Housework never ends. I always get so sad. I tell my husband, I really have the house looking good. And look at it. It's just terrible, okay? And so it's hard. You have to do something every day. Dishes, they never end. Laundry, it's always there. Groceries, yard work, upkeep. I had one student, she had 4 children. She's like, do they have to eat every day? Like, I finish one meal and I'm starting the next because all they do is eat. Okay? That's part of the household hassle. Health, maintaining your health is important, but maybe it's not just your health you're worried about. Maybe you're taking care of somebody else. Maybe the dog is ill. Maybe the children are sick. Maybe COVID has brought in some stress for you. Okay? Maybe you have doctor's appointments for not only you, but for all the children, for the family, the parents, some people at church, medications getting filled. Health can cause a lot of stress. Not just yours, but other people. We're all familiar with time pressure, too much to do, too little time. And then inner concern is one we all struggle with too, okay? There can be a loss or a change. We all have some type of insecurity, a regret, a worry. We all have this inner concern. Maybe it's a parent who has just recently been divorced and has several children and thinks that nobody will be interested in them because of all their children. Or maybe you just moved here and you can't find any friends to hang out with, or you can't get plugged in. There's so many insecurities that we have, regrets, worries that cause stress on us. Environmental would be your home. Maybe your home is flooded. Maybe it's under repair. You're building a new home or you can't find a good home. Or maybe your home is, has something that's going on that's negative that can cause stress. Maybe the neighborhood isn't what you wanted it to be. Maybe there have been break-ins lately and it's overwhelming you. Or the weather, it's too hot, it's too cold, it's too dry. There can be so many different things that can cause a hassle. Bills, we're familiar with financial responsibility, can cause a lot of stress. Work, maybe your job is stressful, or maybe you don't have a job and that's stressful, or maybe you don't want a job but you have a job and that's stressful and you just want something different, or maybe whoever you're working with can be stressful, but work can cause a lot of stress. And then security can cause a lot of stress too, physical security. At one point in my life, I had someone steal something out of my bag, happened to be my car keys and then my wallet, and they had access to my house and they had my car keys, my house key, and my address, and I was just terrified. I was really worried that they were going to break in and get me, and it all worked out and I never got harmed, but it was very stressful for a while. Security can be financial security. The economic disaster in 2008 caused a lot of people stress, so that it messed with their security. I know lots of people couldn't retire who were planning on retiring, so lots of issues there. National security with 9/11. Before that, we never were stressed in America about anybody harming us, and now we realize that we're not untouchable either, so that can cause stress. So your homework assignment is for you to go in and look at your daily hassles, to list them, write them all out of what you're dealing with. And you may not deal with every single one, but you'll at least have a few that you'll deal with. And you write that out. And then you're going to put your life change units. So you're going to take the quiz from Ray and Holmes. And you're just going to put the number. And you can kind of explain, you don't have to tell me what you went through this last year, but you can talk about how you're going to decrease your stress, or how you see that these things all added up, even though they were all positive, and it's still causing some stress on you. Other stressors can be occupation. Okay, my husband is a nurse. He used to be a ICU nurse and a critical care nurse. And so when COVID first came out, he was COVID ICU night nurse. There was lots of stress on there. Lots of burnout can happen because he didn't take care of himself. Very high stress. Then he switched to a job as a nurse where he works at home. And he's still really stressed because it's a new environment. Computers, lots of different work with different systems that he doesn't understand. And my question is, how are you so stressed out? Nobody's dying. Okay, but it can still be a stressful job even if it's not someone's life on the line. So you have to find ways to decrease your stress so that you maintain your health and you don't get burned out, or your job isn't too demanding and you're just overwhelmed. Okay, close relationships can be a source of stress, unfortunately. So you can have negative exchanges. There can be conflicts, lack of emotional support, lack of reciprocity. So it's important to realize the uplifts that you have and to try to remove the stressors that you can. I'm not telling you to remove your parents from your life if they're causing stress, but healthy boundaries. Don't give them the power to cause so much stress on you. Okay? Uplifts are something that happen daily. They are pleasant. They are great experiences. Hassles are going to be negative. Uplifts are going to be positive. Okay? So perspective is key. You're going to have an uplift every day. It might be going to bed. It might be the best part of your day. But the great thing is that you had the opportunity to wake up. You have the opportunity to restart tomorrow. So it's important to have a good perspective. So all of our lives have stress in them, and there's a requirement for adjustment, even if it is positive. Think of how great vacation is. Okay, really fun, but is it stressful to get prepared for? You have to find somebody to take care of the pets. You have to get the house all in order. You have to get everything packed up, everything washed. You have to get everything booked and paid for. There's so much stress with it. Okay, and so then you have to adjust everything. And then when you come back, it's all there waiting and so much more. But it's still good. Hassles and uplifts should happen regularly. Life change units should happen irregularly. You shouldn't have a car wreck that totals your car every single day. You shouldn't get pulled over by a cop for speeding and go to jail every weekend. You shouldn't get married and divorced every week. Okay? Grandma can't die or shouldn't die every single weekend. Okay? So there's different things. So these shouldn't be happening often. There may be a season where you have a lot of things happening, lots of life change units, but you've got to find ways to decrease that stress so that you do not become overwhelmed. Are daily hassles and life change units connected to our health problems? Well, it actually depends. It depends on your genetic predisposition. So maybe you got really good immune system. Maybe you decrease your stress a lot. Well, that's going to help a lot. My husband, his immune system is stronger than mine. He deals with stress a lot better than I do. And so he gets ill less often because of stress. Positive life change units versus negative. If you got married, if you bought a house, if you went on a honeymoon, they're stressors, but they're good stressors. What if your house burned down? What if your spouse died? Okay, those are horrible stressors, life change units, and they're going to cause more stress, and it's going to be linked more towards illness than it would if it was positive. Personality differences. My brother and I are total opposites, type A and type B. I'm stressed out because a pencil just fell off the desk and broke, and he's like, Rachel, it's a pencil. And I'm like, yeah, but it may be the last pencil in the whole world, and we may never be able to write again. He's like, I think it'll be okay. There'll be pens, there'll be other pencils, we'll figure it out. Okay? Personality differences. Type A or more high-strung can lead to illnesses more than type B. And then your cognitive appraisal. How you look at the situation and what you think about it is going to be less stressful or more stressful based on what we think about the situation. Psychophysiological disorders are going to be things that we're looking at. Chronic stress with the physical reaction has a wear and tear on the body. Okay, high blood pressure can lead to heart attack and lead to heart failure. If you're exposed to lots of corticosteroids that are released, it's going to weaken the immune system, putting you at risk for disease, infection, something like that. Psychophysiological disorders are going to be symptoms that are brought on or worsened by stress. Tension headaches, we get a lot more headaches when we're stressed out. All of this list, blood pressure, IBS, coronary heart disease, acne. We all know that our acne gets worse whenever we're stressed, even asthma. So it's important for us to take care of our stress so that our physical health isn't going to be at risk.